Well, like I and many people have talked about already, and others are going to talk about later. In fact, Alex Hicks of Just Alex's World here on YouTube, he's going to go live about this in just a little bit. But you know, with this announcement that WWE Raw is going to Netflix at the beginning of January 2025 next year, you know, it is a big deal. And as a lot of people have said, it is indeed a game changer, because what this does is it sets, you know, the bar extremely high for any other sports entertainment, combat sports, professional wrestling, whatever you call it, promotion, to try to reach that bar, to try to, you know, elevate over said bar and be the new standard. Because what WWE has done here is they've not only set that bar extremely high, but now that basically by doing so are challenging any other promotion, like I said, of combat sports, professional wrestling, sports entertainment, professional wrestling, you name it. You know, they are basically setting the bar for them to try to obtain, if not overthrow, by doing something similar, if not more. Because when you think about this deal with Netflix, like I said in my video, and I'm sure others will bring this up, maybe, maybe not, you know, Netflix, you know, having Raw, you know, allows anybody that has to, let's say, leave the house, you know, maybe because of family emergencies, or maybe they have to go and do a late night shift at work, or because maybe the neighborhood is getting sprayed by something and they have to leave their home for at least that night and then come back in the morning. What this does is it allows folks like you and me to take our, you know, laptops, our Chromebooks, our phones, our tablets, and wherever we go, whether we're at a residence house or we go to a hotel or whatever, because of some of the things I mentioned, you know, it allows us to resume where we left off. Even if the episode ends, it automatically should, and I think this is one thing they'll be working on, automatically goes into replay. So that way, if you have to, you know, exit the program, because of, you know, like I said, some of the things I mentioned, you know, as an example, you know, basically you can go on your phone, let's say you get to your relatives because you got to stay with them because of what's going on in your neighborhood, you go to the hotel, same thing, or you got a family emergency or family situation you have to go take care of. What you can do while you're as a passenger in the car, let's say somebody else is driving, or you're riding a bus to your destination because the bus driver's driving, of course. You know, what you can do is get on your phone, maybe get on your tablet if, let's say, the bus has Wi-Fi, you know, strong Wi-Fi that is, and you can resume where you left off. You go to your Netflix app or you go to the Netflix website, you know, sign into your account, and basically resume where you left off. Even if the show is over, the live portion of it, it's over, you know, you can be able to still continue where you left off while it's now in replay. And like I said, that's one thing I believe they're going to try to work on as well, you know, and that's enable the consumer, the audience, the fans to be able to watch, you know, the broadcast, you know, instantly right after it's over, because of the fact that some people, like I said, will have a lot of things come up and may not be able to see the whole episode, or may have to leave during the episode because of numerous reasons, you know, that I mentioned. But when I look at this deal, as I said, you could definitely tell that it's setting a bar. It's setting a standard, you know, so high by WWE inking this deal that, you know, they, like I said, they are challenging other combat sports and professional wrestling sports entertainment promotions to, you know, meet them up, you know, at that bar, to basically, you know, equal them, you know, in this, you know, in this endeavor, if you will, that that they're going to take, I should say, with Netflix. You know, they are challenging them. They're challenging AEW. They are challenging MLW, TNA. You know, they are challenging UFC, Bellator, you know, all the boxing promotions, if you will, the WBO and IBF and whatever. They are challenging them, you know, by saying, hey, if we can do this with Netflix on a weekly basis, you know, what can you do to answer back? basically that's what they're doing. Like I said, they are challenging people. They are challenging people, that run these promotions to try to follow them. Because everybody has said that the direction for a lot of live sports, combat sports, professional sports, if you will, the direction for the future is streaming. We're already seeing that with the NFL, with Thursday Night Football, and now with the playoffs that we recently saw with the Dolphins and Chiefs on Peacock. It's already, we're already seeing the integration of live sports onto streaming services. Another example, Apple TV. Apple TV, along with Peacock, by the way, have gained the rights to air, Friday night baseball and Saturday or Sunday morning baseball. Saturday, Sunday morning baseball on Peacock, Friday night baseball on Apple TV. They've already established that, a year ago. And why do I say that? Because my mom's a huge San Francisco Giants fan. She may not know much about, the statistics and stuff and everything. She may not know all that, but she's a fan of the Giants. And when she wanted to watch some of the games, she would look on the guide, she would look on the Xfinity guide and be like, where is it? Why isn't it on 712 or why isn't it on 722 or 721? What's going on? And then I'd have to tell her it's on Apple TV. It's on Apple TV. So once I told her that and I logged into my account, she was able to enjoy the Giants on Apple TV. So we're already seeing the direction of live sports and entertainment go down that path. We're already seeing that. Netflix is no stranger to doing live events. They did the Chris Rock stand-up comedy last year, and I think they did, according to reports, an awards show last year as well. What was it, the Screen Actors Guild or something? They did the live broadcast of that. So basically, the trajectory, easy for me to say, of live entertainment and live sports and sports entertainment, the trajectory, into the streaming platform, is already pretty much setting a foot, and building its foundation as we speak. And that's what it's doing. But why is the WWE one, such a big deal? Why is it, such a big, important issue? It's because that for most of its run, whether it was on USA Network or on TNN/Spike, Monday Night Raw or WWE Raw was always on cable television, or linear cable television. That was it. It was always on, a regular cable outlet. And on occasions might even give us a little bit of a peek on broadcast television. But still, it was always there. It was always its home. Now, in the next year or so, that's not going to be. January 1st, 2025, or unless they have a different date in mind, we'll see. But it's going to be January 2025. I would assume it's New Year's. That all changes. And the day one edition of Raw, if you will, or the New Year's Revolution edition of Raw, whatever they're going to call it, that's going to be the first Raw. The first Raw of 2025 will be the first one on Netflix. And like I said, what they're doing with this is they've set the bar. They're going to be setting the bar for all the other wrestling promotions, independent, mid-major, secondary, second biggest or third biggest, companies. They're setting the bar for them to follow and try to obtain an, jump over. That's what they're doing. Now, the closest promotion out of them that could potentially supersede them is, of course, AEW. But, they've been chasing their Max deal, along with a renewal under the Warner Bros. Discovery banner, for the past year or so. Now, there's no doubt that with this announcement, WBD will probably renew AEW, for another few years. But whether or not they get that Max deal, that's another question, in itself. Because I know Tony Khan would love to have that max deal so he can have a place, that he could call a standard home, a foundational home for the AEW library and the Ring of Honor library, as well as the AEW shows that he could put on demand after they've been, broadcast live, along with the Ring of Honor shows after they've been broadcast on Honor Club. I know he'd want to have a foundational home for them, but the question is he going to get that? We'll have to see. You can't tell me he doesn't see the PLE model, that WWE has in place right now, with Peacock, and TNA is pretty much followed with their TNA Plus service. You cannot tell me he doesn't see that, and he doesn't want to do that himself, with his AEW shows. He does. He does want to do that, but he needs this max deal to go down. But there's now an even bigger reason he'll want it. And that bigger reason is because you can't tell me he doesn't feel like he's going to get challenged, because he is. He sees what we see, that the gauntlet has been, thrown. The gauntlet has been thrown in his and any other wrestling promotion's direction of, by WWE. It has been thrown down, in front of them, as WWE's way of saying, can you top this? And that's what's happened. It has basically been thrown in front of him as a way of WWE saying, hey, Tony Khan, hey, Anthem Sports, can you top this? That's what they're doing. And Tony Khan, we know he's competitive. And there's no doubt in my mind, not only is he going to want this max deal to, be, so he can have a home for the AEW library, the Ring of Honor library. He can have a home for the, recent broadcast, live broadcast of Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage, and the recent broadcast of, ROH on Honor Club. He doesn't just want a home, a foundational home to have those on. As well as have a home for his live events, and everything, kind of save some money on the side by doing so. But now that he sees this going on, and he, in his own mind, and I'm sure others think similarly, that it's a gauntlet being thrown down by WWE of, hey, can you top us? He's going to want to, once he gets that max deal, if he gets it along with the renewal to stay on TNT and TBS, you can't tell me that he's not going to try to tempt fate and try to convince Warner Bros. Discovery to let him air on occasions or simulcast on occasions on TNT and TBS live broadcast of Collision and Dynamite, where the simulcast not only on basically, when I'm talking about simulcast, I'm saying with Dynamite, he has a show, he'll have it air on TBS regularly, but then simultaneously, he'll have it show on Max. You can't tell me, he wouldn't want to do that seeing this. Because in his mind, he's being challenged. The gauntlet has been thrown down to him. To try to basically try and top what WWE's done. And I'm not going to be surprised if he tries to go down that route. Well, he'll try to do a simulcast of Collision on TNT and Max, or a simulcast of Dynamite on TBS and Max, or a simulcast of Rampage on TNT and Max. You can't tell me he won't do that, or he won't be tempted to do that to prove he's better. He has the better product, because he will. He will. Because to him, he's being challenged. But he's not the only one. Like I said, he's not the only one. You have TNA, who has TNA Plus. They have a show on Access TV. Now, everybody gets it, but if you're a YouTube insider, with them, for a certain price, yeah, you can watch the episodes. Or, hey, if you pluck down whatever amount it is for the new service, you can watch episodes too. But the point is, TNA, Anthem Sports are going to feel challenged, despite the fact that they have the same people that own WWE, Endeavor, the streaming division of Endeavor, helping them out. They're going to feel challenged. They're going to feel like, okay, WWE has just set the bar by, with this deal with Netflix. We have to overcome it. They're going to feel challenged. They're going to want to prove that they could do better. MLW, is on YouTube with Reloaded and Fusion, and they have a weekly spot on what? Being Sports, and I think even Vice at times. You don't think they'll feel the challenge? Of course they will. Of course they're going to feel challenged, and they're going to want to prove themselves. UFC is going to want to prove themselves. I mean, they already have a streaming deal with ESPN Plus, and that's great. But you can't tell me that Dana White's not going to go to Ari Emanuel and say, "Hey, I don't like this deal that Nick Khan just did. I feel like we're being challenged. I feel like we're being challenged. I want you to allow me to have the opportunity to prove we're better." You can't tell me that's not going through Dana White's mind, because it is. It is. The point that I'm getting at is WWE has pretty much, set the bar when it comes to this announcement. They've set the bar. They've thrown down the gauntlet of, can you top this? Can you do better than us to the other professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and combat sports promotions? They have done all of this with this announcement. They have done all this with this announcement. And once again, just like I said in my original video, if you think Netflix having problems streaming this live on a weekly basis is going to be an issue, let me remind you once again, Endeavor has a streaming division. They have people that are helping with the TNA Plus service right now that can come over and help, with the Netflix, broadcasting of Raw whenever it goes on, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, whenever. They basically have a group of people, a team that can help out in that area, and the same with WWE. WWE has people in that are experienced in that area too that can help out. The fact of the matter is, as I said in my original video, the reason they're making this announcement now is so that way they have a whole year to work out all the issues they're going to have to work out. Make sure that everything from, because here's the thing, they're going to be testing here and there. They're going to test some things here and there. They're going to do what they can to ensure that a weekly broadcast will not have any issues. They will ensure that. But again, for anybody that thinks this is going to be an issue, Netflix has already had experience doing live, events, stand-up comedy, award shows, and also need I remind you that WWE has done live events via streaming, courtesy of Peacock. Need I remind you that when we do live streams here on YouTube, basically that's an event that's basically a live streaming event. It may have some buffering issues here and there, but still it's live, and it really is not really, hold on, almost got tongue tied there, but like I said, except for the the buffering, like I said, we still do live events and people like them, Premium Wrestling Network. The Premium Wrestling Network has been doing live wrestling events on their YouTube channel. And they have not had issues, as far as I know. They have not had issues. So for anybody to think that Netflix might have some issues with a live broadcast weekly, again, that's why they're making this announcement. They are making this announcement right now, finalizing everything, dotting all the T's and I's and all that, so they can have the whole rest of the year to test everything they need to test, come up with new solutions here and there, so that will not be an issue whatsoever with the weekly broadcast. But yeah, to me, the way I look at it, WWE has set the standard once again. They've thrown down the gauntlet to everybody else, that's in combat sports and sports entertainment, and they're telling them, okay, the ball's in your court now. Can you top what we did? Can you top what we did? That's what they've done. And I guarantee you, like I said, Tony Khan's going to probably be the one that takes umbrage to this. He's going to be the one that really takes an issue with this. And he's going to basically be like, okay, WWE's calling my bluff. They're calling my bluff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove I'm better. And again, like I said, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if he tries to do a simulcast of Dynamite and Collision on both TBS and TNT. But at the same time, he also simulcasted on Max, on the Max, streaming platform. I would not be surprised if he gets that streaming deal he wants. He gets that deal to have his content on Max as well. I would not be surprised. But yeah, in closing, I do apologize if I rambled a little bit, kind of went a little off, here and there, off in different directions, or it sounded like I wasn't making much sense. I do apologize. But in closing, like I said, they have set the bar, and now they're telling the competition, ball's in your court. Can you top us? And that's going to be the question. Will those competitors to WWE be able to do that? Or will they just basically raise the white flag and say, hey, we're just cool with what we have. We're not going to try to top you. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, I do apologize if I rambled a little bit. Kind of went all over the place at times. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. And until next time, guys, I am out.